And hello, it's Dave Lane here again from Dutch Tents UK, showcasing another tent on this glorious April 2024 day. At last, the rain has stopped. I think we were all beginning to wonder if it ever would. So this is a Vrijbuiter Swan tent. It's a very long 4-berth family tent in stunning condition. It's a little bit different to the other Vrijbuiter range. You might want to say they have a lot of front, whereas you'd say this one's got a lot of neck. Hence the reason why I called it the Swan, because it's a elongated version, so it's quite long. The inside dimensions are 5 meters deep, so from back to front. That's before we come outside, and it's 3 meters wide. So what we have is the king pole, then we have a frame in the middle, then we have a second frame, then we have the porch poles at the front. Now normally you appreciate with most Vrijbuiters you just get the king pole, the middle pole, and then the front section is the front, and this one we've got the extension porch on it. And as you can see, it also comes with a lovely pair of side wings. More on those in a minute. So before we go inside, I'm just going to give you a bit of a quick guided tour onto the general condition, because it is exceedingly clean. There's no staining on this tent at all. There's the odd little mark, such as there, tiny little bit of fruit stain. I think there's some bird poo remains there, which is coming off. But the rest of the tent is really, really, really clean. And as I said, there's no staining at all anywhere. Obviously there's no mould or mildew or anything horrible. The other difference with a lot of the other Vrijbuiters is, of course, this is one of the ones with the side extension for the kitchen. Okay, on the one side it perhaps upsets the clean lines of the tent, but in terms of practicality they are really, really good. So when we go inside and have a little look at that, we can see how that works. And when I post this, the advert on my Facebook page for this, there will be a picture on there of a library picture of somebody else cooking in one, so you just get an idea how they work. But they are really, really useful. And of course it's one of the added features that makes these such good sort of long-term family tents. Okay, quickly before we go inside, I just want to briefly mention the side wings. They are not specifically designed for this tent. Vrijbuiter made and certainly sold a range of universal side wings, so they are designed for all their sort of square fronted tents. So you can see one leading edge is quite straight, and then the other, flares out. These aren't actually a full matching pair, so they're both the same side, so I've had to reverse one of them. So this one is actually, if you like, back to front. The only way you can tell that is because the seam is now on the outside. Apart from that, it doesn't look any different, and it works perfectly well. But unfortunately they are both left-handers rather than a left and a right. But they're brand new, so they've never been used before, so that's one of the good things about them. They are, of course, spotlessly clean. Again, unlike the other Vrijbuiter range, this has a double door, in the same vein as De Woord's, Esvo's and Randstad's tend to have, one on either side, which they can operate independently, or you can put both up together. They have screens on the front. I'll show you all this in a minute before we go inside. The door in this tent is fixed, and the wall is fixed to part of the tent. So you get the added porch on the outside, but you can't bring the wall forward. Okay, let's have a little look with the doors up. So the first iteration is where we have the door flaps up. This gives us a lower section of PVC window, and then a venting gauze, the same on both. Of course these are all in immaculate condition. can also see the side flaps here. Now these side flaps are controlled by ropes, so they are adjustable from the inside, so you can open them up or close them down, and when you lock them in place there's a bit of velcro there which just holds them there. Very, very nice little touch. Let's lift the doors and have a look. Door 1 up, and with the second door up we can see inside. And before we go in, you can get an idea of the real depth of the living space in here. It really is a lot. Right there in the distance, the back is the inner tent. It's a single big unit with a dividing curtain. There. Clips down at the bottom there. We unclip that and it rolls up and it connects into those speed locks there. The whole tent, the inner tent, is fitted to the main tent with speed locks all around, top and bottom. All of them are good, none of them are broken, they all work perfectly well. That's a 50 centimetre wide sleep mat, so you can see that if you had 3 50 centimetre wide sleep mats, you would get 3 in there. It'd be a little bit cosy. If you were to go for the slightly wider 60s, you can see you'd still get 2 in there very comfortably. So this is a comfortable 4-berth. It will sleep 2 adults or 4 adults very comfortably. But I think also 2 adults and 3 kids comfortably as well, actually. So we have vents on the side there and there. Of course, these are all good. They're vented with gauze there, so it gives a very nice flow of air. This is just standard garden furniture, but it still gives you an idea that you could perhaps get 4 of these in here. So you have a lot of indoor covered space. And then, of course, we have our kitchen area. So you have the main door frame there, and then you have uprights for the crossbar to hold this out. This allows you to place your kitchen unit in here. This is gauze, so if you lift the outside PVC rain cover, then you'll get a lot of ventilation. So of course, if you're cooking indoors, you're going to need the ventilation for carbon monoxide, but also to get rid of any unpleasant smells. It's a really, really nice idea. Works really, really well, and it just makes indoor cooking possible in a pyramid tent where sometimes it can be a little bit difficult with the sloping walls. We've got a tent tidy here. It's a universal Vrijbuiter, so it's just generally designed for pyramid tents. That comes with this, and we also have with this a crossbar. This is a Randstad crossbar, fits very nicely to the 2.3 metre tall king pole, so it's really, really good for space, great for hanging torches and stuff off. These toggles here allow us to, if I can get rid of that, thank you very much, let's show that in operation. It allows you to lift up. There's a vent there, and on the outside of the tent, as you may have noticed, there are rain covers. This allows extra ventilation. And then we pull that back down again and velcro it back on. Got a second one on this side. The inner tent connects at the top with speed locks. Canvas on these is the usual Tenkate 300 gram. You can see from the inside as well just how unstained and clean it is. I have noticed, if you see there, yes, you can see those two small very pricks of light. It's not holes or damage, they are just slight partings of the weave. It's not uncommon to find these, and it is fixed with a good rainstorm. The canvas has been so dry for so long. It just needs to swell a little bit more, not just on the seams but here. You won't get any rain through there. I wouldn't even bother fixing those with tear aid tape. I'll just leave them alone. They're absolutely fine and not a problem. Again, inside, as with all of these Vrijbuiters, we have our second zip down curtain with a nice PVC there, so it gives even more light. Not that light in here is a problem, but if you want more, you get more. All zips, tabs, etc. on this tent are all in perfect condition, all work perfectly well. And again, as you can see here, we mentioned about the, let's unhook the Velcro, and if we pull this, you can see how the vent comes up, and you've got a toggle down there to lock it into place. Or you want it down, you just pull the toggle down. Again, really good for ventilation. The tent is supported by a single king pole there, and we have your first frame here. You can see it's colour taped. The red one, the red section pole, is for the main tent. This one stands at 185 tall. Then we drop down to the door frame, which stands at 175. These are marked with a yellow tape. Note how they sit outside the tent. They go through the little gaps there. They don't sit inside as this one does. And then of course outside we have this nice covered area. We've got a porch at about 70-80 centimetres deep, and then those nice big side wings, very useful for inclement side weather. It's creating a very nice place to sit. And if you were to put some kind of extension canopy on the front, you know, so the sort of camping canopy you can universally buy, you'd get even more outdoor covered space. And you can see this is just a really beautiful tent in absolutely beautiful condition, which is unsurprising as it's been virtually unused. I don't think this tent has got more than 5 or 6 weeks use on it. It's probably only been out 2 or 3 times, and it's just absolutely beautiful throughout, pristine. As I've said, nothing is damaged, nothing is broken. Moving on very quickly, and finally, ground sheets on these, as with all Vrijbuiters, are sewn in. No, they're not, they're zipped in. I always make that mistake. And with nice heavy steel YKK zippers, not plastic. You have a drop down flap here to allow this section to be level with the floor, or you can lift it up. So you can unzip the zip here, and you can then open up these side walls. So if you want, you can have the entire front of the tent open. When the doors come down, we have a separate zip there for each door, one there and one there. So the door is secured at the bottom, and of course the side zip. So it's very secure. And then at the bottom of the door you have storm flaps. So you know, nothing's coming in. And there's the storm flaps there on the side. You get an idea. Get your bathtub ground sheet. Ground sheets on these are really heavy duty, thick, 500 gram, you know, reinforced PVC. They're really good. And of course there's no damage to it. There's no holes or repairs. Absolutely fantastic condition throughout. So this tent, I wouldn't really call this a weekender. It takes a little bit more setting up with the additional poles and the kitchen area. A lot more pegging points to do. But this, as a deep camp tent, as if you're going away for a week or 2 camping somewhere with your family and you want a nice mobile house, this is fantastic. Really good family tent. Loads of space, loads of kit storage and toys, and then there's the stuff for the kids. So if you're interested in this, give me a shout and let me know. Okay, thank you very much for your time.